The Black Eyed Peas!
Yo, let me get everybody's name.
will.i.am.
What's up, y'all? This is Taboo Nawasha. This Apple Diap.
Kim Hill.
Got me questioning, where is the love?
That's not how it happens.
Black Eyed Peas!
Who is this terrible person that is joining the Black Eyed Peas? She's ruining it. She is awful.
Did they really say that?
People
No,
say.
but you know what? I remember that.
Black Eyed Peas.
To grind on will.i.am in a bathing suit. That was being asked of me, never by the guys. That was happening from an exec.
Yo, listen up. If you blink right now, you'll miss the single craziest Black Eyed Peas latest news drop of the decade. 5 minutes from this moment, you'll know the dollar amount the Peas nearly lost in a botched deal, the private text that almost broke up the band on tour, and the secret studio hack that pumped one song past 3 billion streams. Smash that like so the algorithm shoots this story to every Peas fan worldwide. Then keep your eyes locked, because in 90 seconds I'll reveal the buried album their label still prays you never hear. They weren't born superstars. In 1988, two broke teens, AP, fresh off a Philippine Air flight, and William Adams before he renamed himself will.i.am, spent afternoons popping and locking on cracked Hollywood sidewalks. Rent was late, bank accounts stayed on fumes, but the boombox never ran out of batteries. They called their street dance squad Tribal Nation and clung to the same dream. Beat hunger, beat doubt, beat gravity itself. Cash was so tight they once split a single burrito 3 ways and filled the middle with hot sauce packets to make it feel heavier. But swagger travels faster than money. Ruthless Records founder Eazy-E caught their live act, smelled raw talent, and signed them as Atbon Clan. A debut album called Grassroots was pressed on reel-to-reel in 1994, full of jazz samples and rebel verses. Then the world flipped. Eazy-E died of AIDS-related complications in March 1995, and the label yanked every copy from store shelves before release day. One phone call killed 5 years of hustle. The master tapes vanished into a vault so deep that collectors still chase bootlegs on eBay for 4-figure bids. If that hurt, it also hardened them. They renamed themselves the Black Eyed Peas because will.i.am said that humble bean feeds everyone at the cookout. Taboo joined after a freestyle face-off in an LA club left jaws on the floor. Singer Kim Hill dropped in with a gospel raw voice that could melt steel. They dropped Behind the Front in 1998 and Bridging the Gap in 2000. Critics cheered, radio yawned, sales crawled. One exec demanded Kim trade hoodies for bikinis to sex up the act. She walked out rather than switch her style. Cue the first big cliff. The crew needed a new female lead or risk getting dropped again. Nicole Scherzinger was locked in a rival contract, so all spotlights turned towards Stacey Ferguson, better known as Fergie, former Wild Orchid singer with lungs of gold and a brutal meth habit. In December 2001, she hallucinated FBI agents crawling the church walls during a relapse. She went cold turkey, grabbed a mic, and landed in a Black Eyed Peas writing session for the track Shut Up. By sunset, she had a permanent seat in the van. Stick with me, because what happens next drags in Justin Timberlake, a $10 million lawsuit threat, and the single that turned a hip-hop trio into global pop titans. It's coming in 60 seconds. September 11, 2001, shattered the skyline and the airwaves. will.i.am scribbled a plea for peace on loose notebook paper. Where is the love? Timberlake polished the hook, and the final cut blasted to #1 in 13 countries. Here's the kicker. The Peas still owed Interscope a radio-ready smash or risk a $10 million breach of contract suit. One song wiped out that threat overnight and banked the first $3 million of tour deposits. Elefunk launched in 2003, loaded with Hey Mama, Let's Get It Started, and a barnstorming 132-date world tour that grossed $47 million. The squad leveled up from budget vans to a fleet of sleeper buses, each one plastered with neon bean graphics. Fergie's stage growl calmed every exec who feared a white woman couldn't anchor a hip-hop squad. Money rolled, but tension brewed. Label heads pushed for even slicker pop. will.i.am craved heavier bass, Taboo wanted more rap bars, and Fergie just wanted one weekend to breathe. By 2005, the next album, Monkey Business, dropped, flinging Don't Funk With My Heart and My Humps into every high school playlist on Earth. The Peas sold 10 million copies and pocketed a reported $22 million split advance. But success brought addiction whispers back to Fergie, and it triggered a clash nobody saw. will.i.am's love for auto-tune versus Fergie's raw vocal pride. Picture two titans towering over a mixing desk, each ready to nuke the session files. Keep listening. This rivalry will explode when we hit 2010. While Fergie juggled sobriety, Taboo fought different demons. In 2006, he crashed his Mustang into a car while holding weed and painkillers. The fine hit $1,500, but the real cost was rehab and canceled dates that burned $1 million in lost merchandise. APL.E.AP kept the peace, wiring family money back to Pampanga and sponsoring dozens of kids' tuition. Underneath the club anthems, real life cut deep. Fast forward to 2009. will.i.am binge-watched club crowds and noticed DJs switching genres faster than shoes. He coded those insights into the END, electronic, now, dance. The gamble paid off when Boom Boom Pow spent 12 weeks at #1, I Got a Feeling took the baton, and together they ruled the top Billboard slot for half a year. Tour revenue spiked past $86 million, but the schedule broke in bones. Fergie wanted children and brand deals, a shoe line, a fragrance, a Spanish wine. Taboo hid stage pain from chemo after doctors found testicular cancer in 2010. He finished shows taped up under his costume, then puked backstage into trash cans. will.i.am chatted with Intel and Beats by Dre, eyeing tech checks bigger than any royalty statement. Here's that auto-tune war I teased. Fergie hated the robotic filters burying her tone on the Dirty Bit single. She threatened to skip radio promo unless the mix dropped 2 layers of vocoder. Management feared a PR storm and ordered a midnight remix. Drama cooled, but never left. In 2011, the Peas announced a break, not a breakup. Fans smelled smoke anyway. Off stage, Fergie banked on motherhood and solo life. Double Duchess landed in 2017, but chart heat fizzled. Worse, her jazzy take on the US national anthem at the NBA All-Star Game melted into meme land. YouTube loops topped 50 million views overnight, but only because listeners laughed. Then her father John Patrick Ferguson died from cancer. Grief swamped the studio. She quietly left Interscope that summer. Meanwhile, the remaining Peas refused to fade. They cut Masters of the Sun Vol. 1 in 2018, heavy on social commentary, light on sales. Still, the project proved they didn't need radio to speak the truth. They pivoted again in 2020 with Translation, jumping on Latin trap and reggaeton. J Balvin hopped on Right Mo, Maluma on Feel the Beat, and Shakira on Girl Like Me. The Sony Latin partnership doubled their monthly Spotify plays from 30 to 60 million and unloaded a fresh revenue lane worth $8 million in sync licenses alone. Hold tight, because the comeback almost collapsed mid-pandemic when a leaked memo revealed concert insurers wouldn't cover Fergie's absence. Without her, one festival risked losing $3 million in ticket refunds. The fix? Draft powerhouse vocalist J. Ray Soul, born Jessica Reynoso, discovered on The Voice Philippines. She nailed auditions in 2 takes and took center stage with swagger to spare. Insurers nodded, tours rolled on. Now let's crack open the secret money vault most fans never see. Early contract failures taught will.i.am to guard masters like Fort Knox. By 2015, he'd negotiated deals that let the Peas own or co-own 85% of their publishing catalog. Every stream of I Got a Feeling pays their LLC, not a random hedge fund in Delaware. Combine that with Fergie's quiet exit, no messy court battle, no tabloid mud, and the royalty pie still carves her a healthy slice every quarter while she raises her son Axel. That's money, power, and influence all moving under the radar. Taboo's health scare also changed touring forever. The band now writes cancer recovery breaks into every contract. No more than 10 shows in a row, minimum 2-night rest intervals, on-site nutritionists. It costs extra, sure, but it saved his life. Fans applaud, and corporate sponsors love the wellness angle. Let's drop another cliffhanger. 11 years before Translation, the Peas quietly recorded 30 unreleased tracks with Sergio Mendes and Daddy Yankee. Interscope shelved them, spooked by genre whiplash. Those masters still exist. will.i.am teased them in a 2024 Twitch stream, saying, maybe they drop when the world least expects. If that vault opens, streaming servers might melt. Stick with me because we're about to hit the chapter where a one-word text almost split the band for good. It shows how thin the line is between empire and ashes. Mid-2021, will.i.am texted GOAT. Autocorrect flipped it to gone, just as Taboo opened the group chat. Context: they were debating whether to headline a crypto-sponsored festival in Dubai for $5 million. Taboo thought gone meant will.i.am was quitting. He screenshotted it to Fergie. Fergie, fresh from a sleepless baby night, read it as final. Within an hour, blogs in Brazil ran the headline, Black Eyed Peas break up again? Chaos. It took 3 Zoom calls and 1 lawyer to clarify the typo. They still played Dubai, cash in full, paid in Bitcoin and US dollars for safety, and donated $750,000 of it to save the Children's Global Education Fund because smart PR can turn a glitch into a halo. Do you feel that? That's the money, power, influence triangle spinning like a carnival ride. Let's fast forward to late 2024. The Peas drop Elevation. Critics shrug. Fans call parts of it demo leftovers. But the numbers still slide past 100 million total streams inside 2 months, thanks to playlist placement and TikTok dance challenges. J. Ray Soul's vocals shine on Guarantee and Tanta Love. Live crowds chant her name, yet Twitter lights up weekly with Bring Fergie Back threads. Both sides fire GIFs. Both sides keep streaming. Everyone wins. Behind closed doors, will.i.am locks in a 2025 VR deal with Meta rumored at $10 million. The plan? Drop a mixed reality Peas concert where viewers can jump on stage, freeze time, and remix Boom Boom Pow live with AI loops. If it lands, they become the first major legacy act to bank VR royalties at scale. Remember that reunion rumor you heard? It's half real. Fergie's son hits first grade next year, and insiders say her calendar opens for a limited run of 10 stadium shows in summer 2026. No ink yet, but Live Nation laid early holds on Chicago, London, Manila, and Rio. Projected gross? $150 million if every seat sells. Biggest sticking point? Fergie wants full creative veto on vocal filters. She will not sing through a robot mask. Stay tuned. Pause for a pulse check. Which era hits you harder? The backpack rap days? The pop boom years? Or the Latin wave? Drop your pick below. Type OG. If you miss Kim Hill's soul hooks, Queen. If Fergie still rules your playlist, or New Wave, if J. Ray's soul is your ride or die. I'm in the comments giving hot sauce emojis to every spicy take. Before we wrap, here are 3 hidden moves the Peas pulled to dodge total collapse. Nuggets you can flex at trivia night. 1. They bought back Eazy-E's share of the Grassroots Masters for $85,000 at a probate auction in 2003, 20 cents on the dollar. The tapes still sit in a climate-controlled vault in Burbank. 2. Their accountant wrote a spare time clause into contracts. If any member pulls in over $5 million annually from solo work, group obligations pause until revenue parity returns. That clause kept peace when Fergie's shoe line spiked in 2008. 3. Taboo owns the trademark for Boom Boom Pow energy shots. He hasn't bottled it yet, but the IP alone is worth mid-6 figures to beverage investors. All right, gossip fam. If you learned one thing you never knew, maybe that lost Sergio Mendes tape or the $150 million stadium rumor, punch that thumbs up so YouTube knows we're cooking. Share this video with the friend who still screams Mazel Tov every time I Got a Feeling drops. And don't just hit subscribe, ring the bell right now, because next week I'm dropping the Black Eyed Peas scandal update that details how one contract loophole could hand their entire catalog to a Wall Street fund overnight. You do not want to be that person asking what everyone's buzzing about tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. This story proves an empire can wobble, pivot, and still print platinum. And remember, beans feed everybody. Catch you in the next breakdown.